Hey guys, welcome back to this place. If you are new, welcome here for the very first time. I'm Carmen, and today we are delving straight into Season 3, Episode 1 of Battlestar Galactica. Now, it's been almost a month since I've watched Battlestar Galactica, so I am super ready to delve straight in, but also I need a little bit of a recap because it's been a minute. Last season ended with Gaius winning the presidency, and then deciding they should settle on New Caprica, deciding to call it New Caprica, with all of the foreboding that represents, in my personal opinion. And everything was good for about a year, and then the Cylons showed up because they detected the radiation signature because of Pegasus 6 and, her desire to peace out of the world. Yeah, so the Cylons found them, and we don't really know what the Cylons' sort of ultimate goal is now because they don't believe in God, I think, anymore. They don't want to emulate humanity because they don't think that they're the children of humanity anymore, right? They're sort of going about this with a different mindset. Now, what that mindset is now, we do not really know yet. We know that they set up like the New Caprica police. We know that for some reason they still care about the humans and like want to, I don't know, enslave them or something. Like, again, we don't really know what their sort of end goal is anymore. So I'm curious. Yeah, I'm just curious as to what it is and like where it's going to go from here, because presumably with their new mindset, even coming across humanity again, they would just be like, don't want to deal with it and like leave. But they didn't. So you guys know what we've seen anyway. Like, you guys are like, you know what's going on. It's just if I know what's going on. Oh, you guys, I'm excited. Wait, what the fuck? What's happening? Whoa. I'm a bit confused. Yeah, who's doing this? What's happening? Is it a bomb? Is that, it looks like, Ty. Why would he be in here? Is that him and Ellen? I'm very confused, you guys. Okay. We got Rosalind praying. Okay, Adama and Lee, probably, yeah. He tamed his mustache a bit. He's getting frustrated. Okay, who is making this? Okay, Tyrell? Anders? What, are they making a bomb? Why are they making a bomb? This looks like her apartment on Caprica, right? But she got her new Caprica hair. Okay, that is Ty. Is he in that, the jail, the new Caprica jail? This is not humane treatment of prisoners. Fake priest. Brother Cavill.
That every time they take you out of this cell, we come in here and we change those little hash marks on your little calendar there you're trying to hide.
That's pretty fucked up. I mean,
potatoes, gravy, even some carrots.
what's going on here? I'm so confused. Is this a year after the occupation? She's being held prisoner, clearly.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the bounty of this table.
Yes. Yes. Come on, don't stop. Come on. Come on. You son of a bitch.
Is it Ty? But that doesn't make sense unless Ty's a freaking Cylon. Oh, is it the priest guy? Is it the priest guy? Is she? Because I think she could be trying to get Ty out, maybe.
All right, we're armed.
What is happening? What is happening? What? I thought that the webisodes would prepare me for this, but I am confused as... Just use a normal freaking kitchen knife.
I need a knife.
Is he gonna cut it for her? Like she's a freaking child? I know she's playing along with whatever this is.
And, when do I get what I want?
I believe that's happening right now.
Did he hit her? Because I'm not Ellen's biggest fan, but like, fuck him if he did.
We gotta get you processed. Take an hour or so. But if you're lucky, you'll get home by dinner time.
How long has he been in there? And like, what for? Like, I know he was resisting the Cylons, but like, still. What happened to his eye, too? Poor Ellen. I feel bad for her. I really fucking hate Brother Cavill now.
Now. For God's sakes, come on. Is that thing gonna work or what?
Fracking insurgents.
Maybe don't be creepy as fuck, and that won't happen. Have you considered it? Walk away. Don't touch her. Don't fucking touch her.
You look
No.
so lovely tonight.
Stop it. Stab him. Stab him with that knife. Stab him with that knife, Kara. That's actually exactly what I wanted. I was thinking the one that he put on the table, but...
I'll see you soon. Carol.
What a fucking
Take your time.
psycho. She won't eat now. Can she not get out of here? Is she trapped in this apartment? Honestly, good for her. Good for fucking you, girl. Okay. 134th day. Okay, so almost a year.
We've had no contact with Galactica since it left 4 months ago. But I refuse to believe that Adama has abandoned us.
Oh. Wow, I was thinking it was 334, not 134.
We're supposed to bring the word of God to the people, right? To save humanity from damnation by bringing the love of God to these poor, benighted people.
But
We're here because a majority of the Cylon felt that the slaughter of mankind had been a mistake.
yeah, I thought that y'all didn't believe in God
God
anymore.
wants us to live.
Oh, so now they do believe in God still? I thought... Okay.
Fear is a key article of faith, as I understand it. So perhaps it's time to instill a little more fear into the people's hearts and minds.
No. Y'all agreed that...
Let's execute Baltar.
Why?
If we'd killed him at the beginning, it might have worked. But now most humans think of him as a traitor and would actually cheer his death.
Probably.
We round up the leaders of the insurgency and we execute them publicly. We round up at random groups off the street and we...
Did you not agree that killing was bad?
The gloves are coming off.
Have they been on?
Human population to a more manageable size.
Genocide was bad. You already agreed on that.
The entire point of coming here was to start a new way of life, to push past the conflict that separated us from humans.
Thank you.
It's not like they welcomed us with
But
bracket, never mind.
you're still occupying them. You're not trying to live alongside them. But you've never actually tried to live alongside humans. You literally came to subjugate them.
Is it really worth it, Caprica? Is the love of that man really worth possibly losing all of this?
If you ever experienced love, you wouldn't have to ask.
Facts, though. Facts. Facts.
And while their names are kept deeply confidential, there's no question some of them are people we might least expect.
Well, if they're wearing those outfits, how is that confidential?
Others have simply vanished.
Oh, they wear masks. Okay.
We've been gaining access to some very important documents from a source within Baltar's administration.
Is it Gata?
But he communicates with the insurgents by means of a secret signal.
Well, you gotta hurt the dog.
Hey, Jake.
Refill his water, please. He thirsty. New Caprica Police Academy graduation ceremony. I couldn't finish reading it, but... Is that Le Bebe? I forget what they named him.
Looks like Mommy's gonna get some sleep tonight after all.
He's a cute baby. So cute.
Sometimes I hate everything about this place.
Except for him.
Sometimes it's magic.
Steven, maybe? Sorry, I'm still stuck on this baby's name.
Get me back in a couple hours.
Guess Mommy's not getting any
One of
sleep.
these days you're just not gonna come back, are you? I'll just vanish and that'll be it.
I mean, it's a possibility for sure.
Nick will never know his father.
Did you say Nick? Maybe I was wrong.
A couple hours. Promise.
Well, you can't. Don't promise. Cheryl, do not promise because you're part of the insurgency. And, like, there is literally a very real chance that you will walk out that door one day and never walk back in. Like, he's like, that's just facts. I want to know what the fuck they did to his eye. Because that pisses me off. Honestly. Also, I'm glad that Andrews is okay. Because he was, like, you know, pneumonia'd up last time.
I know you're wondering, so I'll save you the trouble. The eye's gone. Ripped it right out onto the floor. Picked it up and showed it to me. Looked like a hard-boiled egg.
What? That's... I don't know why that really upsets me.
Yeah, well, all the top occupation brass is going to be at the graduation, even President Baltar.
Gaius Baltar.
Yes, sir. I think we can get a shot at him, too.
Send a message. You work with the Cylons, you're a target.
No, let's not kill...
Boundaries for the Cylons, there's no boundaries for us.
Let's not kill Gaius.
Nail that son of a bitch. Gaius Baltar is worth doing.
I don't think that one innocent human life should be sacrificed, but also, do you not see that Gaius is maybe, like, you know, kind of innocent in this?
I've asked the inside source to tell us which of the Cylon jamming frequencies are the weakest, but so far I got nothing.
You guys are dreaming. There's no raptor there, okay? There hasn't been one for the past 4 months either.
They're coming back.
Galactica's not coming back.
Yes, it is. You don't know them like we know them, Anders. Like, I understand.
It's out there because that was the plan if anything happened. And it's out there because the old man isn't just gonna leave us to the Cylons.
He's
Old
not.
man left me to the Cylons, Colonel. And if it wasn't for my wife being a royal pain in the ass and refusing to let it go, I would be dead a year now.
All right, well, you know, you weren't one of his crew members. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. Also, they couldn't save everybody. They had to save who they could.
Any word on Kara?
Nothing.
She's okay.
4 months.
So they took her at the beginning. What happens? Does a new one just walk in the door? Can she not escape?
You kill me, I download, I come back, we start over 5 times now.
I'd still kill you every time, to be fair. Do you understand how consent works, bud?
I only want you to see the truth of your life.
What is that?
That's why God sent me to you. That's why God wants us to be together.
No, God doesn't give a shit.
You're right, and I hear you. I do. So thank you. Thank you for putting up with me.
She's doing what she has to do. Is she gonna...
Put it down, Kara.
She has the knife.
Just put it down. I'm a patient man.
You're not a man.
I'm willing to wait. You just need more time.
I don't need more fracking time. It's never gonna happen.
Of course it's gonna happen. You're gonna hold me in your arms. You're gonna embrace me.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna tell me that you love me.
Doubt.
I'm going to bed.
Cool. Get the fuck away from her.
Nice if you join me.
Get the fuck away from her. Get the fuck away from her. Fucking creepy ass.
Either way, you're spending the night with me.
I'd rather spend the night with the dead you.
I do love you, Catherine.
I don't think you know what love is. Love is not holding someone prisoner. Also, what he's describing is Stockholm Syndrome, not love. Just saying. Is she finding a way out? Girl, find a way out. That is so fucked up. Like, in what warped sense of reality would that be conductive to love?
We can't do this in a training scenario.
How the hell are we supposed to pull this off with Cylon Raiders on our asses, huh? Tell me!
What the fuck do you want from me? I don't know how we're supposed to do any of this crap at half strength.
Collision! We've had a collision!
Cat! I'm gonna lateral spin.
Pull him in.
Roger that, Cat. Bring your birds back. Don't...
Tension's running very high because they want to rescue people.
Right, we got crews that haven't seen action in a year and a half, and you're acting like the only problem is they're not working hard enough?
Have you taken a look at yourself in the mirror lately?
He's got prosthetics on to be a little chubby.
This isn't about me. You've had 4 months to get your act together. And so far, all you've been able to frickin' do is to complain and whine about how hard it is. Well, guess what? It's gonna get a lot harder. Do you understand me? I want you to turn around and get your fat ass out of here.
Excuse me.
Dismissed!
He's very angry. They're both angry because they feel stuck and they want to help, but they don't know how to help. I get it. And obviously Lee is not happy, which is why I'm assuming he's like eating, like he's really not fat, but you know.
What's wrong, Colonel? You know that, don't you?
He's a soldier, Chief. Not the first time we've sent a soldier on a one-way mission.
That's fucked up.
Best chance to take out Gaius Baltar.
You know, Gaius doesn't really have any say in it.
I got nothing to live for.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said in the Resistance webisodes. That you're doing this because you don't have anything to live for. That's fucked up.
You look me in the eye and you tell me that you are committed to this. I'm committed.
I don't think that we should do this, though, even if he's willing. Like, I just don't think that that's okay. Don't think it's okay to send somebody who is, you know, suicidal into a mission like
Some
that.
things you just don't do, Colonel. Not even in war.
Doc volunteered. He's going.
Yeah, he volunteered because his wife died and they were going to start a family, and she was... Now he feels hopeless. Like, what the hell is he living for now? Because she's gone. Like, that's not okay to exploit that.
Seems like I don't know who my son is anymore.
Have they become close?
We're pretty much alone.
Are y'all bonding?
That maybe for you.
No, I love
I
this.
wish I could go back a year and tell that Admiral Dam about this conversation.
This makes me happy. I don't know why.
Can I ask you something very personal?
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel guilty about leaving the people behind on New Caprica?
Yeah, of course he does.
I don't do guilt.
He's lying, though.
A year ago, I was at a crossroads. I sat in here for weeks, just consumed with rage at all the things that had happened to me.
Yep.
And at some point, I realized it was all just guilt. I was angry at myself for the choices I had made.
Anger is an easier emotion to access.
Losing the baby.
She didn't lose the baby.
So, I had a choice. I could either move forward or stay in the past. The only way to move forward was to forgive myself. I don't think the fleet or Galactica or the people on New Caprica can survive unless the man at the top finds a way
To forgive himself?
to forgive himself.
This whole thing is getting me. agree. Anger is grief a lot of times. Turned inwards.
You're soft. You believe that?
I think she can, probably. She probably agrees.
Oh, you agree, is that it? You got something to say. Come out and say it.
He's right. You are soft. I'm not talking about the weight. You've lost your edge. Your confidence. You lost your war, Lee. And the truth is, you're a soldier who needs a war. And you don't want to hear it because you've got it in your head that your father's the soldier. You sure don't want to be like him. But you are like him. And more like him than you know. That's one of the reasons I married you.
So they did get married. That's what I thought when I saw the ring in the previous episode. Are they giving this dog water? Because I am a little concerned. Jamming frequencies. That's interesting. Ooh, are they gonna get like... Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work?
Is it working or isn't it? It's gonna keep jamming us.
So much for our source on the inside.
All you have to do is get out a little second. Long enough. Just 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 long enough.
Almost got it.
Yes, 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 yes.
Oh, fuck. Turn that thing down.
It's working.
Yeah. Yes. Send something. Send a message. Send a message. Send a message.
Time's up.
Send a message.
Send up the FTL.
Send a message.
Hold
Send
on.
a message.
I'm picking something up.
Yes.
It's a colonial transmission.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we got a link to the ground.
Spark of hope.
Okay, send the coded response. Spin up the drive and let's get the hell back to Galactica.
The Raptor just made contact with us.
What's it say?
We'll make contact with this frequency every 12 hours. Prepare sit rep for command authority. Have hope. We're coming for you.
We made contact with the ground. Colonel Tyson's formed an insurgent group against the Cylons, and now they're ready and waiting for instructions on how to coordinate the rescue effort.
Yes. Yes. This is good.
It's gonna be okay.
Yes.
It's really gonna be okay.
Why did this hit me like a ton of fucking bricks? Okay, that's so good. That's so good. That's so good. That's so good. Ah, come on, Duck. Right, he's Duck. I'm just gonna keep crying. You know, like I don't have tissues. I don't know where they went.
It's time for the graduation ceremony.
I hope that he doesn't get killed, just because I like the actor, and I think that it's interesting.
About the ceremony, there's been a change of plan. I won't be going. Security concern.
I mean, that is true.
There's no reason to go forward with it if the Galactica's gonna come back.
What? Pass up a golden opportunity to kill Gaius Baltar?
You're not gonna kill him.
If your source on the inside says Baltar's not gonna be there, abort. Otherwise, stick with the plan.
Yeah, he's not gonna be there. Abort. Gata, you need to tell him. Very fucking quickly. This poor dog. He didn't make it in time. No, stay there, Tyrell. He's gonna be there like 10 seconds after Tyrell walks away. Not even 10. Not even fucking 10. He's not gonna check. And Doug, damn it. Your life is worth living. Nora would not want this for you. I'm getting upset again.
Congratulations, Sergeant. It's Captain.
He's for sure doing it. He's about to do it.
See you soon, Nora.
Damn it, Doc. why, Duck? Is Jammer dead too now? I'm just curious, like, you know. First off, this episode was a lot, like emotionally, mentally, like just, that was a lot. I honestly loved this episode. Like, I think that it was super action-packed, super emotional, super like well-paced, and it makes you care about the characters a lot. I don't know if the whole thing with Lee is super necessary, like him wearing like the face prosthetics that I'm assuming like a belly prosthetic or something. Otherwise, as completely horrifying as parts of this episode were, I guess. Anyway. And I will talk about that. I think it was a really good episode. It really set up where we are going into this season. Like, just the people of New Caprica and the people in the Galactica and Pegasus. Like, it really gave us a good introduction into where everybody is headspace-wise going into this season. And having seen the Resistance webisodes and now this, I do think that while they're not strictly speaking necessary to get into this season, I do think that they give a little bit of context to Duck and Jammer, and it definitely makes you feel more for why Duck is doing what he's doing. I really, really wish that he would not have done that. I really wish that he would have seen the value in his own life and made a different choice. But I worried that he was going to do something stupid at the end of the Resistance webisodes, and, you know, unfortunately, he did. I will say that this episode, setting the tone for season 3, I assume it really, and you guys might be like, what? When I say this, but I think that this episode paints the Cylons as like straight up like the villain, the bad guy, for the first time, I think, in the show, right? I think previously I have always at least sort of understood where they're coming from. Obviously not with like, you know, genocide, like that's obviously horrible, but I feel like they always in the past have painted the Cylons in a bit more of a forgiving light than this episode did. This episode definitely, in my opinion, painted them more as like really fucked up villains. That one guy who, Landra? Is that his name? Y'all have told me his name a few times, but I never remember. The blonde that's holding Kara prisoner. He's obviously presented in a fucked up light, and like he's obviously has fucked up ideas, and so does like Brother Cavill and them. So I don't know. Anyway, essentially what I'm trying to say is that overall, I think that the Cylons are presented more as like the bad guy. There is a lot that I want to talk about in this episode, so I'm trying to figure out like where I want to start. One, they have succeeded in making me feel really bad for Ellen. Like, fully kind of on her side now. Like, whatever the fuck she wants to do, like, I kind of want to support her now, because I just feel bad that she, it appears, was physically abused. She was coerced into entering into a sexual relationship in exchange for the freedom of her husband. This is the way I'm interpreting it. So, like, that's really fucked up. And, like, I feel horrible that she was put in that position and that she felt like she had to do that. Yeah, I don't know. I feel really bad for her. And I'm, like, kind of on her side now. So, did you ever expect that? Maybe you did, because you've seen the show and you knew what would happen later. But really hate Brother Cavill now, though. Like, he's pretty shitty. Like, for multiple reasons, but that's one of the reasons. Is he the one who ripped Ty's freaking eye out? like, one, disgusting. Two, like, do you not know how to treat prisoners? Like, that's basically a war crime. Like, what you're doing, just in case you're unaware. Three, the way that he was talking about, like, oh, we need to instill fear in the humans. Let's just kill a bunch of them. Which, like, did we not already agree that the reason that y'all did what y'all did previously in season 2 is because y'all realized that killing a bunch of humans was, like, a bad choice? Also, I'm a little confused because I felt like at the end of season 2, Cavill was saying, like, we thought we were humanity's children, like, we thought we had to follow God and all this stuff, and we realized we didn't. So I took that to mean that the Cylons were no longer going to be religious and that they weren't going to be sort of promoting any sort of religious agenda because they realized that, like, that didn't apply to them. But now it seems like they do still think it applies to them, so I don't know. I was confused by that. Like, maybe I interpreted what Cavill was saying at the end of season 2 incorrectly. Yeah. But also, like, they're not on the same fucking page because they're, like, here's the thing. I get where, like, Caprica 6 and Caprica Sharon are coming from. Why are they letting, like, all of the others sort of dictate what they're doing? Because clearly they disagree with this course of action, but they're not really stopping this course of action from happening. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's I don't understand that. Like, obviously they're only 2 people, but aren't they the heroes of, like, the war? So shouldn't they have more sway? And also, like, the Cylons, like I don't understand their motivation here. Like, before, I kind of understood it. Like, didn't agree with it, clearly. But, like, I kind of understood where they were coming from as, like, a race of sentient life forms that felt that they had been subjugated and were trying to enact, you know, revenge upon the people that had wronged them, right? Like, I can understand their perspective. Don't agree with it, but I can understand it. Now I'm like, I don't understand why they would even, like, land on New Caprica and subjugate the humans, right? Because why would you not just be like, okay, humans on this planet, let's find another one? Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand their motivation. Like, they're saying they're spreading the word of God or whatever, right? So are they positioning themselves as missionaries? Which, like, missionaries aren't good anyway, but, like, why don't you just be like, you know, yeah, okay, you don't believe in God, that's fine, we do. Like, let's agree to disagree and, like, piece the fuck out from each other. I don't know. Why were all these wars fought for religion? You know, like, it's a whole thing. I get it. Trust me, I get that. Religion is a very tricky topic, and it's a very sensitive topic. And we've talked about it a lot before in the show because the show definitely explores the theme of religion and what people do in the name of religion and, like, how fucked up it often is. So I get that aspect of it, but, like, also at any point can Cylons, who are supposed to be, like, you know, better than humans according to, you know, them, learn from the mistakes that humans have made and, like, not do all that fucked up shit? No? Because you would think that the Cylons would have no motivation to enact torture or, like, pain or fear or any of that stuff, right? If they're, like, a more evolved life form as they present themselves to be. Yeah. Also, speaking of evolved life forms, Landra, or whatever the hell his name is, that has Kara, like, creepy as fuck. Like, he is creepy as fuck. Like, do Cylons not understand consent? Like, a genuine question. Like, I know they do, but I'm just very frustrated with all of them. But him in particular, he's like, eventually you will fall in love with me and like want to be with me because I keep you prisoner here for long enough. Like, one, you're not describing love. You are literally describing Stockholm Syndrome, which as a Cylon, you should know. Two, like, I fundamentally don't understand his way of thinking. Like, if you have to force someone to love you, guess what? They don't love you. Like, that, I know they're not human. And love seems to be a sort of foreign concept to them because of, you know, him, and then also, what was her name? Lucy Lawless. Her talking to Caprica 6, where she's saying, like, is all of this worth it for, like, Gaius? And she's like, well, you know, if you ever loved anybody, you would know the answer. So I'm assuming that, like, we're setting up this thing of, like, Cylons don't understand love in the same way that humans do, or it's difficult for them to sort of comprehend love in the same way that humans do. Although it's not impossible because, you know, we've seen with Boomer, we've seen with Caprica 6, we've seen... I think that's it. So far that we know that are Cylons, right? So, I wonder if that's going to be like a storyline of like Cylons trying to understand love from a human perspective, and maybe like that's a thing that humans have that Cylons don't, that like sets us apart. Like, I don't know. But yeah. I have a big issue with Blondie and his, you know, literally holding Kara prisoner. Like, he's getting way too close to her. I don't like him touching her face. I don't like him getting all up in her space. Like, I would like to personally stab him in the neck, you know, because, like, I feel very protective. I'm sure everybody does, of, you know, Kara. I feel very protective of her, even though she's a fictional character. You guys know I love her. So, like, it really upsets me to see her put in this position, you know? So, like, I'm not gonna cry. Like, I feel a bit emotional. But I'm gonna remind myself that this is fiction. It's just fake. It's fake. It's all fake. I'm assuming, because he said that Kara, this is like the 5th time Kara's killed him, that in the previous times when she killed him, she, like, looked for a way out and couldn't find one. Because this time, she just, like, took a shower, chilled out, waiting for him to, you know, regenerate or whatever. Not regenerate. I'm sorry. I have compared the Doctor to this fuck. Did they recreate apartments like the apartments on Caprica? Because I feel like the stairs and everything, like, looked very similar to the apartments that we saw on Caprica. So is that in my mind, or did they actually recreate that? So we're pretty deep in the occupation at this point. There's apparently lots of people working with the new Caprica police, which is, you know, upsetting. Well, I mean, like, less now. Less now, to be fair. But that's upsetting. I think that my interpretation, at least from what we know so far, that is that maybe probably a lot of the people working for the new Caprica police, much like Gaius, are just trying to protect themselves and maybe their family from being held like frickin' Ty was and stuff, right? So I don't want to be too harsh on the people who made that choice. Like, I disagree with that choice, but I think that it's possible that they were doing it out of a sense of self-preservation. I also think that Ty and them are being a bit too hard on Gaius. Now, I don't agree with Gaius in a lot of instances, as you guys know. In this case, like, how would he go against the Cylons in the position that he's in? Like how, like, he walked, like, 4 of them walked into a room with him. Like, they can kill him so much more easily than he could kill them. So I don't know. I don't know if I understand the sort of vitriol that Ty has in particular for Gaius. I think that in Ty's view, maybe he thinks that Gaius was working with the Cylons the entire time. I don't know if he's talked to Rosalind. I don't know. So I think that he has like sort of a skewed misconception about Gaius and his involvement with the Cylons. Now, was Gaius sort of helping the Cylons a lot of the time? Kind of. But he was also helping humanity. So I don't know. I'm not ready to be quite that harsh on Gaius because, again, I think that like the people joining the New Caprica police, it's entirely possible that we know for sure that he was between a rock and a hard place, right? He was trying to save as many humans as he could, I think, by surrendering. So, yeah. And there's only like, how many was it? 38,000, something like that. So, like, there's not like a bunch of humans to just sacrifice in the first place. So, yeah. I think that, I'm going to allow people a little bit of grace in that instance and not just say that they're immediately horrible for joining the New Caprica police or, in Gaius's case, working with the Cylons, just because I think in that situation, self-preservation is a thing. And like I said, I don't agree with it, but I'm not going to like write people off for it. Like Duck and Jammer, you can kind of see where they're coming from. Like Duck literally did it to be like the inside person to make the choice that he made, which I don't agree with. But Jammer, I think just like, I don't know. I think that Jammer became disillusioned with the Resistance, and that's why he chose what he chose. And so, like, I can understand in his case too. So it's complicated, right? That's what I'm trying to say. All of that rambling was just to say it's complicated. So I understand that it's complicated for both of them and for, I'm assuming, other people. I like the way that they told us what had been happening through like Rosalind sort of writing it in a notebook, sort of keeping a record for posterity. I liked that sort of way of having like a voiceover and sort of an exposition-y moment to tell us like, here's where we've been for the past 4 months, without sort of just having two characters talk about it, because like it would be kind of weird to have two characters talk about it because obviously they would know, So I liked that they did it that way. Yeah, I don't have like a ton to say about it. I just like the way that they presented us with that information. I guess I'll take a second to talk about Lee and his softness, right? I think that they're just using the weight gain on the show as like an example of like, here's an outward example that you can see of the way that Lee is internally struggling with where they are at this moment in time. So like, I understand it from that perspective. I don't know that it was necessary. Like, I think they could have just like made his hair shaggy and like he could look unkempt in that way, and you could be like, yeah, he's struggling. But I get the idea that they're playing with sort of like losing hope, because I think that a lot of this episode was about losing hope and feeling stuck. And you could see that in the people in New Caprica, like Ty fighting with Tyrell and Anders, saying like, the Galactica is there and they will come back because Adama said that he would come back. And like Ty, of course, has full faith in Adama. Anders, I feel, doesn't, which makes sense, but also I feel he's being a bit unfair, right? Because, I mean, I don't know that Starbuck should have fully told him like everything, but I can understand they're married. They want to, not have secrets. But I think that like he's only seeing it from his perspective of like, I was on Caprica fighting for my life and you almost left me there. But if he's looking at it from like the bigger picture of Adama is trying to take care of an entire fleet, which is literally the rest of humanity, like literally all of humanity that is left, except for y'all on Caprica, sure. But like, he has 40,000 something lives that he's trying to look after and take responsibility for. Like, you can understand why he would not want to risk everyone to save like a handful of people back on Caprica. Like I'm not saying that it's right, but I think that from that perspective, Anders should maybe try to look at it from like the bigger picture perspective. As a personal, you know, one human, sure, I understand that you would be pissed. You would be like, what, so my life doesn't matter? Like, I get that. You know, like I'm somebody who thinks that like every single life is important, right? Like I've said that before. I've told you all my ideas about that. You know, a lot of people disagree. But like I get that individual human lives are incredibly important. I'm just saying that Anders should maybe look at it from like Adama's perspective. And Adama would never leave his people. Like he doesn't do that. He doesn't leave people behind. And ultimately he agreed to let Kara go back to find you. So like, again, you would not, you wouldn't be here right now to be mad at Adama if Adama hadn't agreed to let Kara go back to get your ass, to bring you here, to be mad at him. I'm just saying. Anyway, I got off topic. My point was, the episode was about losing hope and then also getting hope, right? Because Ty kept that faith. And I think that for Lee and Adama up there, never getting the transmissions, like just sort of circling for so long, they felt stuck and like, what can we do? And they were losing hope, right? And so I think that this episode, at least the end of it, was about that spark of hope and how important that spark of hope is when you're trying to continue fighting, right? I mean, if you've seen Star Wars, you know, rebellions are built on hope, right? Like there has to be that hope. That hope is what keeps you going when shit gets bad. Why am I fucking crying? This idea that there's something worth fighting for, that there's a freaking light at the end of the tunnel, that you're going towards something. You need that hope, or else, you know, like, what are you fighting for? We had that sort of conversation in season 2, right? When they sort of had that transition from we're strictly trying to survive to what are we living for, right? They had to find that spark of hope. And this episode is the reignition of that spark of hope, right? So we see the people of New Caprica sending out that transmission and having it received, and them saying like, keep hope alive, or whatever it said. What did it say? Let me see what it said real quick. Have hope, we're coming for you, right? So I think that that's such an important thing. I think that this moment of this transmission being sent and received is hope for both the people on New Caprica and hope for the Galactica and the Pegasus, right? Because, what was it that Kara said at the end of last season? Fight until we can't fight anymore. And if that's the lasting legacy of humanity, is that we fought to exist and to keep hope alive and to keep our species alive, then I think that's like a good legacy, you know? I really liked Adama talking to Sharon on the Galactica as well. Like, I loved her telling him that he does feel guilt and that anger is a secondary emotion, which she didn't say in so many words, but she said, I realized that I was angry because I felt guilty for my actions. And when I let go of that guilt, then I could let go of the anger. And she's saying, you need to do the same. And I really love that conversation, because it was not until I was much older in life that I realized that anger was a secondary emotion, that there's always something hiding under the anger. And anger is just a much easier emotion for us to tap into and to like immediately feel than to like sort of like peel apart the layers of what we're feeling to get at the heart of what we're actually feeling. And I think for Adama, that is guilt. That is feeling stuck, feeling hopeless, because like he feels like he is the protector of humanity and he's failing, right? Like that, like, I don't think that, but he's failing to protect who he set out to protect. And so he's turning that guilt into anger. And I think that Lee is turning that guilt and that sort of feeling stuck into numbness, right? Like, I don't think that Lee is angry in the same way that Adama is angry. Maybe he is. Maybe he's just hiding it, right? I think that his is more like he's suppressing his feelings. He's numbing his feelings. He's using this as a coping mechanism. I don't know, you guys. I feel like I have been rambling for a really freaking long time. I'm sorry. Let me see if there's anything else I have to say, because I have been rambling at you guys like crazy. Honestly, there's probably a lot that I forgot, but I think I'm going to leave it here because, like I said, I've been rambling. I have been talking your guys' ear off, and you probably are like, end the video, please. I would like to get a sandwich, which, same. So I will end the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you want, you can like, comment, and subscribe if you aren't already. You can also watch the next episode right now over on Patreon if you're watching this on YouTube, because YouTube actually lets me upload it. We'll see. You can also watch my entire full-length reaction to this episode and every single episode thus far of Battlestar Galactica, including the mini-series and the Resistance webisodes. That is over on Patreon as well.
That's beyond my abilities at the moment.
All right, well, I did not ask you to, Siri. I'm sorry that was a misunderstanding on my part and your part. Anyway, I am excited and nervous to see what this episode will bring, or this season, not this episode. I already saw what this episode will bring. Nervous, worried for Starbuck. Hopefully she can kill that fucker for good. Hopefully they mount a rescue. Hopefully we get the hell off of New Caprica and like find Earth. Like, I don't know. Hopefully Ellen gets to kill Brother Cavill like 10 times at any version of him. I don't know, you guys. But I'm excited to see what happens next, and also a little bit nervous. Anyway, I hope to see you guys next time for more Battlestar Galactica. Until then, bye guys!